it's so cool that we all come from such different backgrounds, you know, different ethnicities, and we're all going the same direction, and we're all kingdom focused, and we're all growing in different spaces when it comes to the equality that we live in,
Mm-hmm.
uh, or the levels of equality and what we believe about that. And we have to remain so humble and um, willing to listen, I think, right now more than ever. And it's not a call to, I don't feel like the Holy Spirit is saying, be very careful, you know, this heavy, be very careful. I feel like the Holy Spirit is saying, I am leading you out into a wide open space. It feels very narrow, but trust that what I'm doing in this is so much bigger. So
Right.
much.
The Holy Spirit was like, uh-uh, I can speak
Yeah.
through anyone. So
Yes.
you take what you believe um, um, I'm sharing with you, and you bring that back to me, and then
That's
I'll
good.
I'll expand on that. But don't allow yourself to get caught up in what you see or what others are saying. And just like I said, God will use anybody, can use anybody, and will use the most unthinkable person,
Right.
and at any time. But it's like, again, what I say about the world system, don't allow yourself to get caught up in that.
Yeah,
You're not Republican, you're not Democrat, you're not independent,
that's
you're
right.
not conservative, you're a child of the most high God.
Yes.
And that, I'm gonna move into my room because the kids just came in.
Oh, okay. No problem.
But it'll go dark for a minute. um and that's where, you know I want to grow you from.
Yes.
So, and it's going to take a whole lot of transforming my mind, to get you there.
You know, I wonder sometimes because I have friends and family members um, on. I don't want to say how evenly divided they are because I feel like they're kind of all over the board. But I know their hearts. I know they love the Lord. Um, I have learned a lot through their speaking into my life, and when I step back and I think of myself, not just a few years ago, it's it's the it's the fear that I'm responsible to this word, and this is all I understand about this word, and so this has to be the Holy Spirit, and if I don't convince others that this is truth, God will hold me accountable. Without But then you go to the bird's eye view and you look at Jesus interacting with people. And he was hard on some people, and then he was really gentle with people of a weaker faith, or didn't have a lot of faith and needed a healing or whatever. And I just, like you were saying, I have compassion for that because I know what it's like to believe that I am so right in something, and God in his goodness to me showed me later, you were so convinced that that was me.
Mhm.
And you rightly divide and you see how Jesus acts in a similar situation. Where did the chips fall? And it was what I was doing or what I was saying that was right. It wasn't love, it was responsibility to the word. It was the rule of the law, not the law of love.
Mm, very good, very good, very
So I
good.
hear what you're saying. It's the compassion. It's what we talked about. It's the wide open space of what the Holy Spirit can do.
Hmm.
The opportunity for him to move right now in a COVID-19 pandemic, in a highly charged political situation where the church is really, really, really divided and still looking to him and going, okay, God, in your goodness, for your glory, what are you doing?
Yeah, yeah. And we all have our own things to chew on, our own areas to chew,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you know? And that's what I think too, when if you want to look at it like a Republican versus a Democrat, just because I mean God's given us all pieces of his heart that he wants us to steward over in the earth and to release his glory um, through us regarding certain issues of his heart, concerns of
mhm,
his heart.
yeah,
And
good point.
just because I'm not out here anti-abortion signs up and doesn't mean that I'm for it. But
Right.
he gave you he put compassion and empathy in your heart for that. Whereas I'm more for the ones that are living and walking out in these streets every single day. I have compassion for the least of these. Doesn't make you right and me wrong, or me wrong and me right, for that being my focus. And it's like, if everybody took their part instead of seeing it as a red or blue thing, and took their part as a piece of God's heart that he's allowed you to have, because he's put something in you to be able to be his eyes, hands, and feet here in the earth to move that thing, then if we all did focused on that and brought that together under his kingdom here and not try to fix it out there in the world, I think we would be in a better place. But it's like you got, because if you're red, you're not focusing on all of the commandments, only a few. If
Right.
you're blue, you're not focusing on all of the commandments, only a few.
Yeah.
But you can't say one is more right than the other.